Hi, it's Raymond. I hope I have the right number. Look, I know we haven't spoken in a while, but I need your help. Remember the day I took you and Duncan off the streets? I told you that the past is just a story, that if you can just accept that, your past loses all power over you. Yeah, I was wrong.
Get new cool stuff. The Swift Winds Mahjong Parlor, filled with the stink of cigarette smoke, the incessant... Okay, that's annoying. Alright. Come in. We have a lot to talk about. Kindly Cheng. You can feel every eye in the room as you cross the mahjong parlor to the middle-aged woman, sitting patiently at its end. The click-clack of ivory-covered tiles, tiles stops. Hands stray beneath tablet. Hands stray beneath Hands stray beneath tables, into jacket pockets, behind backs. The woman has the face of a prison guard and the demeanor of an inmate. Her salt and pepper hair is pulled back into an iron-hard bun, and beneath it, two shiny black eyes offer nothing. Buttons sewn on a doll. A nearly empty bottle of something foul rests on her mahjong table, nestled between a pair of dirty shot glasses. Tiny puddles of brown linger at their bottoms. Gobbet and Isabel stand on the other side of the table, heads lowered, shoulders slumped, hands clasped. They risk a frightened glance at you as you approach. Kindly Cheng's voice is nasal and rusty mean. My little pair of fuck-ups told me all about what happened on the docks. I'm trying to do an accent, but you know. She dips a pinky into a shot glass, brings it to her mouth, removes it with a sharp smack. How two of my best runners had their heads put out. How you need protection and how you need to get your identities wiped before you get your heads put out too. Potentially leading the heat to my front door, placing me and everyone on my employ in danger. She fingers the rim of her glass. So wise, so very, very wise. The young shaman's eyes never leave the floor. We're sorry, Auntie. We thought... Her black eyes flash. You mustn't speak until you're spoken to, Gobbet dear. The smile turns mean. And since you are one short hair away from being dumped in the river chained to Isabel's corpse, I suggest you let your new friends here do the talking for a while. Does that make sense to you, dear? Her treacle voice is back, sweet, nasal, and grinding. Dark circles ring Gobbet's armpits. Yes, Auntie. Cheng inclines her head gently. Very good. You learn so quickly. Gobbet kept a very cool head. I'm going to remain silent. She pours another drink. Her cheeks are rosy, already flushed. Now, my darlings, I understand from Little Ratchet here that you came from Seattle to meet with my client, Mr. Black. Wu's jaw tightens at the word client. But before you could meet him, the HKPF started splattering gray matter everywhere, and everything went to shit. And now you need your sins burned so you can disappear before you end up dead too. Is that right? Yes, ma'am. Very good. Why don't we start with you telling me who you are? Call me Caesar. Oh, you've already chosen a street name. How prescient. Prescient. Prescient? I think that's how you pronounce that. How prescient of you. Cheng looks at you approvingly. Caesar has a good name. Has real character. She flutters her eyelashes at you. Now, what's your real name? I mean, do you want me to erase your identity? You do want me to erase your identities, don't you, dear? I need to know who you are first. Alaric, I'm a rigger. She rests her chin on her hand. My. It's still hard to believe someone can put their mind into a drone. Amazing. How did you become a rigger, Alaric? Let's see. I'm not going to bother lying because she's going to see that as an insult. So, picked it up young. I've been in the cooler. Picked it up young. I've been in the cooler for a few. Woo's brow furrows. Woo's brow furrows, and he shakes his head. Still can't believe it. Kylie Cheng whips her head towards Wu, a nasty retort already on her lips. But then she stops, sticks out her lower lip as she sizes him up. She turns to her lieutenant standing behind her, nodding her approval. Looks like the Gancho is in town. What's your name, Gancho? Wu's focus remains straight ahead. Duncan Wu. I'm a cop. Lone Star. I hear there was some fresh corpses found on the docks tonight. Smugglers, I believe. Didn't sound like the Hong Kong police when I heard about it. You're doing Duncan Wu? Uh-oh. Wu's eyes remain fixed on the spot on the wall behind her. He smolders. I identified myself as Lone Star, but they wouldn't stand down. They had weapons. It was self-defense. She puckers her lips at him. Her voice sing-song. I don't care, sweetie. They want my people. But now I know you're a life-taker, Mr. Gancho. You and your friend here. She begins arranging mahjong tiles on the table in front of her. But now I'm curious. Why were you meeting Raymond Black on the docks tonight? He's a friend. Said he needed our help. Cheng's black eyes flash. Really? You have a lot of 65-year-old friends who you'll fly around the world to help? He raised us. Raymond Black is our foster father. That makes her pause. Cheng lifts her bottle of swill and eyes the label, connecting the dots in her own head. Interesting. A look of disgust passes across her face. Sorry, kids. But he was looking like shit when I saw him last. Eyes half open, dark circles around him, dragging his feet, the whole bit. She tisks in displeasure. Your foster daddy was in a bad place. Tell us everything you know about him. Kylie Cheng rests her eyes on you for a long time. You can feel the room filling with uncertainty and anticipation. The triad boss speaks patiently as if to a child. Perhaps you misunderstand our relationship, Mr. Hawkins. You don't interview me, I interview you. But I will indulge this one question since poor Duncan Wu here looks so worried. She eyes you for another moment and then continues. That was close, actually. From what he said, it sounds like he was having nightmares. He would stop in the middle of a sentence and mutter something to himself. One time it was about the walls breathing or something. I'm just getting the accent wrong. Another time it was about teeth. Thousands of teeth. I remember him drifting off near the end of our meeting. It looked like he was off somewhere in his head. He said, I left prosperity there. Then Nightjar put his hand on Mr. Black's shoulder, asked him why he wanted to go into the walled city so badly. That seemed to bring him back. When your old man opened his eyes, they were full of tears. Then he muttered something I couldn't make out. She pours herself another shot, tosses it back and rubs her belly. Your daddy got real irritating after a while. I can imagine. She grabs a long, slim cigar from a pack on the mahjong table and lights it. Alright, let's get to it. She exhales smoke and points 2 fingers at you and Wu. You two need your sins burned before you can get... You two need your sins burned, and you need them burned fast. Hong Kong dreadnecks are bad news. When they roll in force. Armored personnel carriers, heavy armor, heavy weapons, sorcerers, the whole thing. And they aren't coming to arrest you. She folds her arms across her chest. The thin cigar bobs in her mouth as she speaks. The good news is I can help you. With a wave of my hand, I can have your sins disappear. But you need to understand, my darlings, is that what you're asking for is not a simple request. Burning a sin is not just deleting a number, it's wiping all references to that number from all the world's largest databases. It's masking your mugshot in the facial recognition database so that the first camera you walk past doesn't bring them down on you like a ton of bricks. It's covering our fucking tracks so that the act of burning your sins doesn't lead them right to us. It requires contacts in numerous corporations and the UCAS government. Smoke rolls out of the triad boss's nose. It requires someone like me. Therefore, I need to make a choice. She takes another drag on her cigar and gently places her palm flat on the table. Do I kill you and dispose of your bodies before the cops come looking for you? Or do I help you burn your sins? If I were you, I'd be more interested in protecting my rep. 2 of your people were just clipped. If you don't do something about it, it's a show of weakness. Cheng rests her chin on her hand again and smiles at you coldly. So clever. So clever. Her chin stays on her hand, but her eyes look past you, surveying the Yellow Lotus soldiers in the room. Yes, I have been placed in a delicate situation, haven't I? Regardless, that's the situation, whether you're alive or you're sucking dirt. She stares at you for a long moment, chin still on her hand, thinking, taps her ash on the floor without taking her eyes off you. A low, reluctant growl rumbles somewhere deep in her throat. You live. You're clever, and I like that. I'll put your sins to the torch. However, I'll need to call in several valuable favors within my network to do it. And those favors do not come cheap. Kindly Cheng stubs out her cigar. You will owe me. Whatever you say, Auntie. Don't roll over so easy, my darling. People would think you're an ass kisser. It's unbecoming. I want you to deliver a message from me to a business associate in the walled city. The Yellow Lotus has a strong presence inside Atlantic. Isabel can tell you all about it, can't you, dear? Isabel grew up in the walled city. Isabel's eyes remain lower. They collect taxes from the corporations, extort protection money from shopkeepers, run drugs, guns, people. They hurt people. We do those things, yes, but to be fair, we also operate the walled city's black market. You might not be alive today if it weren't for the lifeline that we provide. Produce, whatever. Isabel clams up tight. Cheng picks up a mahjong tile and turns it in her fingers. There's a red pole, a sort of enforcer, yes? On the inside, his name is Strangler Bayo. Bayo is a strong man, a good soldier. But he has forgotten his place. I need you to remind him. Want us to make an example of him? Did I say I wanted you to make an example of him? No. I want you to deliver a message. She tosses you a memory stick. Bring this to him in my name. And remember that Bayo's men are my men. By right, they should all be serving me. Killing them would be a waste of resources. I have no use for dead soldiers. She turns to Gobbet and Isabel. One of you will go with these Westerners to the walled city. Help them locate Bayo and show them the ropes. The other will remain here with me. I have several menial and degrading tasks that need doing around the establishment. No matter who goes and who stays, you'll both pay for bringing an APB to my doorstep. Yes, Auntie. Yes, Auntie. Now, I'm going to find who ordered the hit on Nightjar and do some dentistry on him with power tools. She closes her eyes and smiles with pleasure. That boy was my favorite. He sang to me sometimes. She opens her eyes again and sneers. That other one? I don't care about. Gotcha was an asshole. She turns away and waves you off with the back of her hand. That will be all, my darlings. Return to me when you are done. And we'll just leave. You know what? We're going to take a look at our karma and see how much we gained. So this is here. So this is my guy. And then that's Duncan. And he... Do they auto level up or do I level them up? Yes, they auto level. Spend karma. Or he hasn't earned karma, only I have. I don't know. Okay. I want to go find some, like, cool stuff. Hit by physical attacks. What about hitting by ranged attacks? Additional 3 additional weapon slot, if not yet unlocked. Ooh. Strength. Melee weapons, close combat, melee weapons, and armed. Decking. I could deck. That'd be fun. Look at this. It's a Sony CTY 360. This is a... Oh, it's not a real company. But there are a couple real companies like interspersed through here. And it's kind of cool. Willpower is used to calculate the chance to hit. With spellcasting, helps boost resistance against certain types of magical attacks, such as Mana Bolt. Charisma unlocks etiquettes that affect conversations. Physical resilience. For every point of body, hit points are increased by 10. Determines the maximum cyberware affinity skill. I think I'm going to spend 5 there. And then we'll put dodge up 2. And then we'll go to... I hate SMGs. I don't want an SMG. We'll take... I don't know. Okay. Yeah. And we'll just save the other 2. So my inventory, I've got a Doberman Mark II, a basic combat drone that every rigger should at least own in their shadow, at least own once in their shadow career. My outfit is secure rigger armor, and I got a pistol. I'd like to buy a firearm. That would be helpful. Can I actually... Oh, I can only give these items to him. I got a data jack, because you need that to be a rigger. Very nice. And I got 1,200 a year in Nguyen. Alrighty. Maybe we'll go talk to the smuggler over here. If he's still around. Yes. Maybe I can buy stuff from him. Okay. Just off the docks, you see a sea-worn man with a smile that's almost too wide for his head. His teeth shine white against the thick black bush of his beard. His clothing are made from a myriad of colors, patterns, and fabrics. A smattering of cultures draped across his body. If there's anything he's clearly advertising, it's the extent of his travels. Yep, he is a merchant. You see something you like? His voice is... You see something you like? His voice is coarse, like steel wool on your eardrums. Come and get it. Because now's your last chance. Everything's on sale. Won't find prices like these anywhere else, my friend. Show me what you're selling. Ooh, a pistol. Oh, yeah. That looks good. Ooh, katana. Firewall. 4 squares of firewall. Huh. Oh, that's a program for rigging. For decking, I mean. Okay, so that's all he's got. Is this pistol better than my pistol? I don't even know. Spells, consumable. Fichetti, frag grenade, dock wagon, force 1 earth elemental, basic med kits. Then you got the program there. I don't want to sell. I don't want to spend everything. But I kind of want a rifle. It's a stock sniper rifle, so I think we're just gonna leave it for now. Get some money and then work that way. Frederick Cafe. That's close enough, friend. The club is members and invite only. I suggest you move along. Gotcha. The thug taps his earpiece, gestures with his head. Auntie Cheng said you're coming. You can pass. Uh-huh. Choosing your team. When traveling on a new mission locations, you'll be able to choose which member of your team to bring and modify their loadout for the run. When members of your team become permanently incapacitated on the mission, they'll be automatically extracted from emergency medical care, so you can't lose people. Okay, cool. They'll be patched up and ready for action next time you return to Haoi. Avoid this loss of firepower by always carrying some dock wagon trauma kits to the field. Either Gobbet or... I'm sorry, Gobbet. I think I'm gonna take Isabel. Flechette, which can cause mid to extreme bleeding. Smart proximity mines. Gotcha. Okay. Do I have some dock wagon? Fine. Entering the walled city. Yeah, the walled city. Kowloon Walled City. The most densely populated spot on Earth. Nearly 40,000 people crammed into 7 acres of chaos, poverty, disease, and vice. A self-contained city that collects no taxes and provides no city services. Stagnant water sits in temporary wells. Trash lies piled on roofs for controlled burns. Improvised structures lean dangerously over populated areas. It's the ideal breeding ground for all manner of illicit trade. Drugs, gambling, black market trade, metahuman trafficking, and everything in between. The only law is triad law. And now you need to enter the septic system of a city, find a triad enforcer named Strangler Bayo, and deliver a message from Kindly Ching. Hold on. We're back. Alrighty. I definitely have that. That's good. Oh, I'm choosing my loadout. What? Oh, that's in the stash. This is on my character. Got it. And I can't move those between people. We definitely have a dock wagon. We have one. Okay, let's go. I hope it changes the model when I get cyber gear. That'd be awesome. Foul, oily water rains down from above, mixes with the filth and offal and swill of the streets, turns into a flowing slurry of unrecognizable sewage. In the distance, the sounds of the back alley activity add to the ambiance of your arrival. Breaking glass, the crackling hiss of a garbage fire, faint screams of terror punctuated by the occasional gunshot, sex and business and violence and misery blended into one. Wu winces at the stink, waves a hand in front of his face. Raymond said that prosperity was in the walled city, but I don't see it. Why the hell would he want to set one foot in this place? Who knows? He'd have to be insane to want to travel to the walled city, as I think we said, is the worst slum in the Eastern Hemisphere, maybe the worst in the world. She does her best to suppress a shudder. Can't keep the dread from creeping into her voice. Can't believe I grew up here. Sorry to have to drag you back. Isabel looks around, closes her eyes. You could have brought Gobbin instead. I would have been cool with that. She peers at the catwalks and sky bridges that connect the rotting tenements' sagging architecture. Frowning, she points to the spot in the distance. There was a market over there when I was a kid. Might not be a bad place to start. I thought you knew where to find Strangler Bayo. Excuse me, guys. I do. We need to get into the Lotus Den. That's where Bayo calls the little island of control that he's carved out for himself. Here. It's a stupid name, but it's stuck. He'll have the guards posted at every entrance, but we might be able to get away with we might be able to find a way around them through the market. That's what Kindly would prefer. They probably aren't expecting anyone to come in force. We can kick in the door, drop the guards, hand over the message, and get the hell out. Kindly doesn't want them dead. She wants them to remember where their loyalties lie. It's tough to remember much of anything when you got a bullet in your head. I mean, we could kill them, but if you really want to. Technically, Bayo is the only one that has to live, but I'd rather keep Auntie Cheng happy than piss her off again. The group's safety is my biggest concern. We don't need to risk our necks for a bunch of triad thugs. I like the way you think. The Decker looks around, wrinkles her nose. I want out of this place as fast as possible. Damn right. Let's do this. Alrighty. Optional. Do not kill any of the Yellow Lotus. I will try my darndest, my friends. I will go and look at that. I'm hoping to get some cool stuff. A putrid stench emanates from the remains of this building. Those disappear way too quickly. I mean, it doesn't matter because it's just flavor text, but still. Bloodied woman. Over here. Help. A young woman lies on the ground. She's a bloody mess. Streaks and spatters of crimson crisscross her blouse and matte her hair. Judging by the quality of her clothes and the bag on her shoulders, you'd make her out as a student. She was out of place here, as a librarian would be in a game of urban brawl. She struggles to move. She's clearly exhausted. The dark circles in her eyes tell you that she hasn't slept in days. When the woman sees you heading her way, her face hardens. You can see her slip into her jacket pocket. As she studies your faces, the fear in her eyes gives way to curiosity. You guys don't look like you're from around here. A hacking cough shakes her, but her eyes remain fixed on you. You either. Who are you? I'm a student from HKU. She glances around watchfully over your shoulder at the buildings looming above her into the windows nearby. Doing some research. Gotta finish before I can leave. This place is dangerous. What are you doing here alone? I wasn't alone. Not until a few days ago. Another long, wet cough. I've been living with a family in one of the inner blocks for the last couple months, working on my master's thesis. Funny place to write a thesis. Her voice takes up a defensive edge. It's the right place for mine. No, it's the right place for mine. My thesis is on feng shui in the sixth world. What does feng shui have to do with a slum? Everything, I think. Absolutely everything. Rich people hire geomancers to design the interiors of their homes, to attune them just right to achieve balance and harmony. The poor have nothing like that. Leave a slum to fester long enough and you get this. She glances around at her surroundings, a look of profound disgust on her face. I think the negative feng shui of places like this affect the people who live here. That changes them in a fundamental way, makes them less capable of breaking the cycle and getting out. That's what I'm trying to prove. Okay, buddy. Before the Awakening, that's when magic came back into the world. In 2011, which is kind of funny, people thought feng shui was a philosophical system. Now in the sixth world, it's more than that. It's actually a form of magic. The whole thing revolves around ki, the invisible life energy that binds every person and thing together. It's very real here in Hong Kong. Nobody knows the reason why. Maybe it's only real because people believe that it is. The important thing is it's a measurable, quantifiable phenomenon. There's an entire industry that's grown up around it. So how's the key in this place? It's wrong. All wrong. The feng shui in the walled city is completely screwed. I mean, look at this place. She gestures at the squalor surrounding us. You can feel it, right? I felt something was wrong the minute I walked in. Bad key, huh? Ki needs to flow. Positive feng shui allows that to happen. If ki gets pent up and trapped, it goes sour. That's what's happening here. The woman clears her throat, then lets out a hacking cough. Kind of like me right now. The effort requires a moment for her to recover before she speaks again. You know, I hate to admit it. I could use some help. I've started running in, I guess you'd call it an experiment of sorts. Nothing conclusive. Just a few quick trials to support my hypothesis before I go into hardcore data gathering mode. There are a few things left to do. If you could finish them for me, I could get out of here. She holds out a crumpled piece of paper. Please, follow the notes on this sheet. Duncan takes the paper from an outstretched hand and examines it, frowning. Just say what you need us to do. I need you to make adjustments to the area's feng shui. My notes will tell you how. The goal is to remove sources of friction and to record the results. My hypothesis is that even small adjustments can have a measurable impact on ki flow. If I'm right, it should improve, and life here should get just a little bit better. I'll see what I can do. Hey guys, I'm Alex. The guy from the videos. So, I just wanted to thank you for watching the video all the way through. You know, it's a lot of work. I appreciate it. So, you know, thank you for your view, maybe your subscription. So you can subscribe right in the bottom corner there. Then you'll be updated. Make sure to ring that notification bell, because, you know, subscriptions seem to mean nothing on YouTube anymore. But hey, so then over here, you'll see a video that you might like, since you watched this video all the way through. Other than that, have a great day. I hope that you watch more. I'd love to see you again. We do stream, so keep an eye out for that. Announcements will be on the channel, my Twitter, all that stuff. All the information is on the overlay. Other than that, enjoy your stay on 6th Street.